Epstein web and holding people accountable, I feel like we focus almost too much on the big names, on the celebrities, on the billionaires, and we tend to lose sight on the fact that there were everyday normal people like you and me also helping him. What he did could not have worked without the help. As y'all may know, I've been researching these names that I found in various lists that Epstein wrote to himself or Steve Bannon, but seemingly one of the more elusive names is Reynolds right here. Now, I've never been able to pinpoint exactly who he is referencing there because he's grouped in with a bunch of scientists, Harvard people, etc., but I have found no clues that definitively point to anybody in the academics. Really, the only name Reynolds that come up is Kevin Reynolds, who is listed under the island massages and is one of the circled passages in the little black book. And it's long been speculated all the circles in the black book were the people that were involved in the web. But I do want to point out that Kevin Reynolds' name is in fact spelled wrong. And as we've learned in this research, the more misspelled the name, the more they're trying to hide the association. In fact, if this guy hadn't outed himself, we probably never would have been able to figure out who Kevin Reynolds is. Now I'm going to play this interview he did in 2022 in full because I had a reaction to it. I'm curious to know what your reaction will be. Oh, and by the way, Kevin Reynolds, retired NYPD.
I'm sure you've had a lot of people that won't talk to you. I'm willing to talk, but I can't change the past. This is humanity. This is life. This is the way people look the other way. I worked for the New York City Police Department for 10 years. And you would think that I would have been more savvy as a retired cop. Shouldn't I have known better? Shouldn't I have caught on to something there? So I don't have an answer. They would send a boat that would take me out to his island to do a massage. And it was a nice gig. You know, it's quite a place. It's just dreamy. It's to die for. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place. Jeffrey was a nice fella. You know, there was no reason to be suspicious in any way. There was a woman there that was running around taking care of all sorts of details. Only to find out later that that was Ghislaine. Anyhow, after one of his massages, he says, "Could you come in?" And I went in there, and there was a young lady there. He asked me to show her how to do massage. So I massaged Jeffrey with her and showed her a stroke or two and had her follow up doing the same strokes as me. Based on everything I've read since that time, you know, she could have easily been under 16. That young lady may have suffered for many years under the control of Ghislaine and Jeffrey. And for that young lady, I would like to say, you know, I'm so sorry. I didn't do anything about it. I didn't know, or I chose not to know.
Well, which is it? Did you not know or did you choose not to know? Because I feel like that's a very important distinction. Yeah, something about this entire interview made my skin crawl, so I wanted to look further into Mr. Kevin Reynolds. Because from everything we know about what happened on that island, there's no way a New York police detective didn't pick up on it. So keep up with me as we're going down the longest rabbit hole I've done to date. So first we have Kevin Reynolds' freelance massage business, which is easily the worst business page I've ever seen in my entire life. Not only is it hard to read, many different fonts and colors, but the way he writes is just inherently creepy. Like, it just doesn't even feel like they are trying to drum up business. And they mention that their family uproots for the winter and lives in St. John with a wide range of clients, including interesting Hamptons personalities. But you know what? It's fine. Maybe he's not a graphics designer, and maybe he's just not very good at advertising himself. But then you look at this right here. It says, need a babysitter. Click here. Here we hit creepy pay dirt, everybody. Because now he also has a babysitting and nanny service, which is just plastered with pictures of his own children, with several of them being not completely dressed, along with a shirtless picture of himself, which, super professional, saying many are New York State and FBI fingerprinted. You are neither NYPD nor FBI, so how is that being accomplished? Many, not all, are first aid and CPR certified. Many are teachers or experienced professionals in childcare. They should all be experienced professionals in childcare. And every testimonial on this page seems fake as hell. In fact, that was all but confirmed for me when I found on his Facebook page that he had reviewed his own babysitting page, flat out pretending to be somebody else, being like, oh, I can't remember, Kevin was his name? Was Kevin the provider's name? And not only that, he copied and pasted that exact review onto his Yelp page, which is the only review on it. By the way, if you click the Need a Massage page on the babysitting page, it doesn't take you back to the massage page, but instead sends you to sketchy corn sites. And sure, maybe the web page was hacked and it's just not active anymore. But then you start digging further into the business. Somehow we're supposed to believe that this shady business is bringing in $2.5 million in revenue with 12 employees. Yeah. But you know what? Sometimes these websites aren't accurate. But somehow I'm inclined to believe this consumer feedback that says Kevin Reynolds is a scammer and a thief. According to this claim, he defrauded people of thousands of dollars of his services and should be a cause for grave concern rather than, oh no, we can't see the rest of it. Here we find another really sketchy Facebook page for his business under a different name, but with the same weird fake review, but in the wrong spot, where he's sharing his own personal vacation pictures and was somehow active still through 2021. I was also able to find this exchange on Nextdoor where somebody was looking for a nanny for 3 children 4 times a week who speaks Russian. But like any good business owner, he takes almost a month to respond to that, saying that he has a Russian-speaking nanny if you need one. It feels icky. Everything feels icky and wrong, but not as icky and wrong as another picture of another massage associate's business page, this time from 2023, where he is massaging a shirtless teenage boy while shirtless and clearly wet from the water. And I hate to point this out, but I feel like it's really important to the context of this picture. But take a look at the teenager's swim trunks. We also know for sure that this was a page created by him because he was sharing his own memories from his personal Facebook page. If you were to click this link on this page, it once again takes you to corn sites. By the way, Kevin Reynolds proudly boasted in 2015 that he worked for Jeffrey Epstein. He taught his girls how to do massage, met celebrities on the island like Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell. By the way, this no longer appears on his page, but this public Facebook page is also full of really creepy stuff like this, same year as that Epstein post, and he will post the same creepy memes over the years with really creepy tags, or things like this, with the same baby pictures of his kids over and over again as if he doesn't have new ones, along with this picture that I had to black out with his hand clearly somewhere, while having not one but 2 professional businesses supposedly, one of them involving the safety of small children. He also claims that his wife Christy is a chef who has a catering business, even though I have found no trace of the name of the business, and she says in this article that she never married this guy. But one of Jeffrey's victims, Gretchen, who's one of the only other names in this black book, was targeted by Maxwell at the spa she worked at, worked exclusively on Maxwell for a couple of months, then was told she was going to go meet Jeffrey, even though everything was really creepy about this island, but he was being massaged by a 65-year-old dude, which made me feel safe. The old, harmless older man she was replacing made her feel like nothing bad would happen to her, which makes me wonder if that was Kevin's role in this. Because on the babysitting poster, he was real quick to put that picture of him and Clinton, where he and his wife catered a fundraising event for Hillary. Do we really think that there's any other explanation than Jeffrey introduced them? Do we think that's a possibility that they got that job on the merit of their own? No. Oh, and look, guys, we found another shady business where he's a vacation concierge service. For 20 years, our family has enjoyed all aspects of island living. Let us share our secrets with you. I wonder if those secrets have anything to do with this picture of you and your daughter, which is clearly taken the same day as that picture of you and your daughter on the babysitting website. And well, I don't know about you folks, but that picture right there chills me to the bone. After all this, no way you can look at that interview I showed you in the beginning and think that this man was an innocent bystander. But as always, everything in this video is alleged and my own personal opinions.